What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. We've got a brand new number monster here for you guys today. Number 27, Dreadnought Battleship Dreadnought, coming in the Collector's Pack of 2018. So you would assume our Battles of Legend, but wait, what happened last year? Baguska came in Circuit Break. Mannequin Cat we still don't have. One of them turned into a prize card. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath on receiving this one anytime too soon. But let's go ahead and read him because he's interesting, and I think he would have been really good during the Xyz era or a couple of years ago, but under Master Rule 4, I feel like your resources are just so much better spent overall somewhere else. So he's a little slow too. Number 27, Dreadnought Battleship Dreadnought reads, a rank 4 water machine Xyz effect. I like the typing. Water, just showered if you're here from Market Watch. Machine, limiter removal access is always the first thing an old school player will think of. And the stat line is pretty good at 2200. You can use 2+ level 4 monsters, so you can stack this man's up for materials for what you might go into with them. You can only use this card's name's first effect once per turn because I guess they don't want multiple of these spamming or something. If this card destroyed an opponent's monster by battle, at the end of the battle phase, you can immediately, after this effect resolves, Xyz summon one rank 10 one rank 10 or higher machine Xyz monster by using this card as material. Just put it on top, it's fine. Just anywhere on top is good. If this card you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can detach a material from it instead. So it has natural protection against things like Bottomless, Torrential, Mirror Force cards. That's always nice to see, actually. And then the secondary effect does do something that's battle-based for all the resources you might put into it. So let's kind of see what you can go into with our mans. Let me switch to my dueling book layout for you guys, and let me get you the dueling book card as well. So this first one here I think is the least likely you'll make. It kind of reminds me of Black Ship of Corn. Sky Palace Gangaridai. You can detach an Xyz material from this card, then target one card your opponent controls, destroy that target, and if you do, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent, and then it can't attack this turn. So realistically, only 3,400 attack. I say only because of our other options. And it can't attack, it does burn. Yeah, that's just not going to cut it with our lineup of things you can make. Next up is Magnus, which if you're trying to cheese out Magnus, sure. You could summon 3 level 4s, overlay it, and have 4 materials to turn on his immunity effect, where it's unaffected by card effects. But then you can't detach an Xyz material and shuffle back cards if you want to keep it. So you would need at least 4 if you want to be able to use the detach effect, the quick detach effect, and keep it. The resources. Doesn't it just sound like you would be link summoning instead of trying to just go full cheese? And if you want to commit 5 level 4s, overlay into our battleship, and it doesn't have to protect itself, and you get to overlay into this after killing something by battle, yeah, it can stop your opponent from adding cards from the deck, and then not spend anything and get Utopia'd if you're not careful. If you do use the spin and they make Utopia. I just feel like all the resources... Cool, it's a 3,600 body. Yes, if you really want to commit 3 level 4s, there's a new way to make Super Quantal Mecha King Great Magnus. But I think we have better options in the other cards here, especially for the resources to make that one good. Super Dimensional Robot Galaxy Destroyer. We've always tried to make fun ways to have him come out, and he's decent. Once per turn, you can detach an Xyz material from this card, destroy all spell and trap cards your opponent controls. Your opponent cannot activate spell and trap cards in response to this effect's activation. So you have a card that has built-in protection in your new battleship, and it can go up into a 5,000 beater. Utopia the Lightning has to crash here. And on top of that, you can kill all their spell and traps. That's pretty cool until they Borreload take it and ram 5k into your face. Isn't it? It does, you know, they chain they activate Scapegoat once they see this hit the board, and you know, that's a thing. but at least they can't respawn once you activate it, so if like somebody doesn't read your card and they try to chain, you got them. It's immune to the Solemn cards, I suppose, which is pretty cool. What do you guys think about this as one of the options? I think it's one of the best options, especially as a beater. Oh no, duelingbook.com has timed me out despite changing my deck there. Oh man, the front page of Dueling Book scares me some days, boys. Some days it scares me. We're gonna try to make it out of here quick. Oh man. Oh, but if you haven't seen Ultra Instinct, here's my deck that got destroyed in the Yuki Tuber Grand Championship. Let's see here, robots. This is the high quality content you guys subscribed for, right? This is exactly why you're here. I'm pretty sure. I just type in 15 to make sure there's not something else. And then we go to machines, because that's what we're limited to, right? High quality, unedited content. Chaos Dyson Sphere is a pretty cool one. I actually really like it, so we'll get into that in a second. We've actually talked about Gustav Max on the channel recently, but we've got some other options. I definitely think our robot is one of the best. In terms of options. This one's actually interesting too. Sky Palace Babylon is a 3800 monster that can actually end up doing extra damage, but it has to do it by destroying something by battle. And since it's the end of the battle phase when it pops out, I think it's one of the lesser options. But it does inflict damage equal to half the original attack of the destroyed monster that it kills by battle. Gains another effect if you had something else under it, which you want here. I still think it's okay in terms of options, but you're leaving it on the field for a whole turn with no built-in protection and no reason to bring it out. So I'm going to strike it from the list of things that you would think to. So here we have Dyson Sphere, which also is kind of battle-based. At the start of damage step, if this card battles your opponent's monsters, you can attach that monster to this card as a face-up Xyz material. So it is non-targeting, slurping your opponent's monsters by battle. It's 3600, and it also does have a burn effect, not dependent on attacking. Once per turn, you can inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each Xyz materials. Now, you can stack up more Xyz to do more burn. It's unlikely, though. It's just an option to get guaranteed damage and pluses with something that's relatively tough to take care of. And it's battles, not attacks. So that's also something nice to note. But I definitely think this becomes one of the most realistic options, taking care of all back row in main phase 2, and you can't even chain to it. Of course, Super Dreadnought, Rail Cannon, Super Dora, being able to be immune to so many things is another really good option, and you can actually stack up more materials, but I feel like it's only worth it doing too, because if you're really going up into more materials, wouldn't you want to link summon rather than putting all your investments into something that just gets run over by Utopia the Lightning? I feel like in 2K18 this card's just not what it could have been. It was a little late, and I don't know, maybe I'm being too harsh, but I feel like between kaijus and lightning, etc., it's the most protected out of all these cards, but it's the least progressive. 4K booty, 3200 attack, but you're not even taking care of a masterpiece of diagrams out because you got to kill it by battle twice. I don't know, it just doesn't floor me anymore, even with its protection. It's because, let's face it, Dreadnought, our new battleship, is killing something by battle, so you're being an aggressor, and then you're going into this, which is kind of defensive. I've always liked attack and defense strategies, but I don't know. I'm not feeling this as much. So more progressively, you can just burn for 2,000 damage. That's pretty good. And then you have your 5,000 monster that destroys all spell and traps for your opponent only, and they can't respawn. I think these two are most realistically the best options, and your guy had self-protecting abilities as an Xyz monster, meaning they could have more back rows that they didn't activate or they didn't take the threat seriously, and they get a 5k monster that looks like Optimus Prime that's taking care of all their back row. I think it is pretty cool that you can get a 5k beater. But what do you guys think of our new number monster, and where do you hope to actually see it? Would you like to see it in Battles of Legend? Me too, but don't remain too hopeful on that one. Again, they all just dispersed into a way that Felt like the Captain Planet rings. There they all go everywhere once he explodes, and not to anywhere that you might necessarily want. Or the Dragon Balls. You can't use it for a year. Sound fair, Mannequin Cat? Because it's literally been a year. I guess they didn't want people summoning Archlord Christia. If you're wondering what Mannequin Cat is, let's just show you real quick. She actually had ways to summon Christia. She was supposed to probably be in last year's Battles of Legend, and then it just wasn't. But I suppose Christia is still something to fear even today, as is Vanity Sphinx. Thanks for watching. What did you think of our new number monster? I'm a pretty big fan of it overall, but I also just think it's too late, and Link summoning is better for your resources.